Hey everybody, it's AJ from Disney Food Blog, and today we are going to talk about some things that most people don't know about Disney World. I've been talking to a lot of friends of mine who are headed to Disney World, some of them for the first time, but some of them have been before, and I was surprised they didn't really realize a lot of these things were the case, so I figured it'd be good to throw them in a video to help some of you out who might be headed to Disney World soon. Okay, so the number one thing I want to talk about here is charging stations and how to keep your phone charged in Disney World. Number one, I want to let you know, please bring your charging cord into the park, your USB cord. Bring that into the park with you. I'm sure you can buy them in Disney World, but much easier to just have it with you. Now, there are lots of outlets and USB outlets all around the parks. So it's actually quite easy to find a place to charge your phone or anything else that's kind of a plug-in device around the parks. But there are a few places that have a little more comfortable charging locations where you're not just sort of sitting on a floor and plugging in your phone. So over in the Magic Kingdom, two places to look for are in Storybook Circus. There's a huge tent that's way in the back. Go to Big Top Treats and go past Big Top Treats, and there's a big tent over there, and there's lots of seating, and it's a covered location. There's no air conditioning, but it is a covered location, and they have tons of outlets and USB outlets to plug in your phone or any other devices. Very cool place to kind of take a load off, sit down, relax, and plug in those phones. Also a good place to let your kids nap because it's pretty quiet back there. Also in Magic Kingdom, if you go over to Liberty Square, so right between Liberty Square and Fantasyland is the Tangled Toilets. This is a restroom area that's themed to Rapunzel and Tangled, and there are little charging outlets stuck into fake tree stumps across from the toilets, so that's a good place to kind of sit and charge a little bit as well. Over in Epcot, you can find some charging locations. There may not be USB plugins anymore, but you can find some charging locations in the hallway behind Club Cool. I think it's maybe Innoventions West. You can find some charging locations there, and also over in the other Innoventions buildings, you can find plugs on the walls. You may have to sit on the floor and plug in, but at least you'll be in air conditioning. Around World Showcase, you'll find some available outlets, and the same also in Hollywood Studios and Animal Kingdom. You will find some outlets available. A good place to look for these are indoor counter service locations. But something else that you can consider doing if you need a phone charge, you can actually go to guest services in any park and leave your phone there, and they will charge it for you while you're out in the parks. Or you could go to some of the fuel rod kiosks. Now, these are little external chargers that are all filled up. You can purchase them for $30, charge your phone, but even though $30 sounds pretty expensive compared to what you can buy at Target or whatever, you can exchange those fuel rods at any kiosk for a brand new fully charged one at any time. So that can come in handy if you're kind of Dumbo or die going through the parks without going back to your room to charge. You can exchange those fuel rod chargers at any time for a brand new fully charged one. But we always do recommend bringing your own external charger from home. You're going to be cheaper. I usually travel personally with a huge external charger and also a little lipstick charger so that I can make sure I have enough juice for the whole day. So those are a few charging locations that you may not have known about, and also little tips. Now, Disney Springs, there's a program that they have been running. I'm not sure when you watch this video if it'll still be running, but it is right now, that they will let you sign out or borrow a portable charger that you can take around while you're in Disney Springs and then bring it back to guest services. Okay, the next thing to know about Disney World that not a lot of people really understand is that this place is huge. Yes, I talked to a lot of people who sort of think that, oh, it's no big deal. You can just walk between the parks and from the hotels to the parks and it's no biggie. And it's very much a biggie. Disney World is basically the size of Manhattan. It's giant, and you can walk from some hotels to some parks, but not from all to all. So be aware that there are 34 hotels on Disney property, 34 places to stay. Again, this place is ginormous. It's absolutely huge and really hard to kind of understand how big it is until you're there. But if you do stay at those resorts, if you stay at one of those 34 resorts, don't forget that there are some little perks that go along with staying on property. You get your magic bands. You can order your magic bands ahead of time, get the colors that you want if you stay at a Disney resort. There's package pickup, which means if you buy something in the parks, they will deliver it back to your resort as long as you have more than 24 hours stay left on your resort. And extra magic hours, of course, you get into the parks an hour early, or you can stay 2 to 3 hours later. There's different parks assigned each day, but those are only for resort guests that get those hours. So that's a great way to make better use of your Fastpass, is if you can ride a bunch of rides before the park actually opens. So think about that if you are staying at one of those 34 resorts in this absolutely giant property. Okay, another thing a lot of people don't know, and this kind of tags on to what I was just talking about, there are a lot of walkable areas in Disney World, and you can get from some resorts to parks with just walking. These are hugely popular little tidbits to know, because you can save yourself so much time if you don't have to sit and wait for a bus or a boat or whatever. So if you're over at the boardwalk, if you're staying at Yacht and Beach Club, the boardwalk, the Swan and Dolphin, you can actually walk to both Epcot and Hollywood Studios from there. A lot of people don't realize that there is a walkway from the Boardwalk Resort directly over to Hollywood Studios. It's there. I use it all the time. It takes about 15 minutes to make that walk, so it's not going to work for people with mobility issues, but most people can make that walk without too much of a problem. And again, you can access that walkway from the Yacht and Beach Club, from Swan and Dolphin, and of course from Epcot. You can walk directly from Epcot to Hollywood Studios. You don't have to take a bus. You don't have to take a boat. You can just walk if you want a little exercise. Over at the Magic Kingdom, you can walk from the Contemporary directly to the Magic Kingdom. There's a walkway and a sidewalk directly over there. And you can also walk between the Grand Floridian and the Polynesian resorts. And a lot of people don't realize that that little walkway is there. Now, you may say, AJ, why didn't they just connect all the walkways? Why can't I just walk from the Polynesian over to the Magic Kingdom and then to Contemporary and to Wilderness Lodge? I don't know. I don't know why they haven't extended that walkway all the way around Seven Seas Lagoon. I wish they would, but alas, they have not. So you can walk from the Contemporary to Magic Kingdom. You can walk from the Grand Floridian to the Poly, but sadly you can't walk from the Poly over to the Contemporary. Oh, and don't forget also, from the Poly you can walk to the Transportation and Ticket Center. So you can always kind of get the monorail that way if you want. And another little walkway that they have available, a lot of people don't know about, is between Wilderness Lodge and Fort Wilderness. Those two resorts are actually connected by a walkway. They used to have a really cool trail that went from Wilderness Lodge over to Fort Wilderness, but they've closed that off with the renovations, and now there's just a paved walkway that can take you between the two. But that's a nice little walk. It's shaded with trees, very exclusive. There's not a lot of people out there that know about it, so a little secret walkway for you. Again, that one will take probably about 20 minutes as well. It's fun to rent a bike and kind of take that trail ride over to Fort Wilderness. Okay, another little thing that a lot of people don't realize, you can book a Disney Vacation Club room without being a Disney Vacation Club member. So a lot of people think that if it's a DVC room, you have to be a DVC member to book it, but that's not true. DVC members do get priority access to those rooms, but if any rooms are available or open and you're planning a trip, you can go ahead and book it. I stay often at 2-bedroom, 1-bedroom villas when I bring my whole family, and I'm not a Disney Vacation Club member, so you can definitely book those rooms without being a member. Now, there's two ways to book those rooms. You can either go ahead and book straight through Disney's booking system with no problem, or you can book as a rental through a Disney Vacation Club member. You can actually have them book the room for you, and you can stay in it under their name. I always book directly through Walt Disney World's booking system because that just works for me, but if you want to book through a Disney Vacation Club member, you can do that, and it might be a little bit less expensive for you. Okay, another thing a lot of people don't realize is that there are tons of grown-up activities. So if you don't have kids with you, or if you leave the kids with a sitter, with grandma and grandpa, and you're having a date night, don't forget there's lots of cool things to do that you don't necessarily need to have kids around you, and you can still enjoy it. There's a lot of awesome golf courses. There's even hosted PGA tours coming through Disney World. And like I said, there's several different golf courses to choose from with different skill levels. There's a lot of nightlife. Disney Springs has introduced quite a bit of good, decent nightlife at this point. Also, over at the boardwalk, there's always Jelly Rolls, there's Atlantic Dance Hall. So there are definitely some things to do as far as bars and lounges, music locations, concerts, etc. over in Disney World. And I love that there are some wine tastings. There's a wine tasting at Jico on Wednesdays, which is awesome. There's wine tastings now over at the Beach Club Resort at Martha's Vineyard. So look around for some wine tastings or some specialty meals to have while you are on your date night or while you are with a grown-up group. And speaking of food, since we are a Disney food blog, I do want to kind of plug a little bit that Disney World is not just burgers and fries. Like, everybody thinks that all you can get there is pizza and chicken nuggets. Not true. There's such amazing dining, and if you've been watching our channel, you do realize this. You know, Victoria and Albert's is a AAA 5-diamond rating, which is exclusive in Central Florida. Nobody else has that. And while, you know, that's not my favorite restaurant to go to, it is a bucket list item for a lot of people, and it is delicious and it's very good. Morimoto Asia, of course, is Chef Masahara Morimoto from Iron Chef, and he has a phenomenal restaurant over there in Disney Springs. Homecoming in Disney Springs is Chef Art Smith's restaurant, which is wonderful. Raglan Road is helmed by Kevin Dundon, who is a celebrity chef in Ireland and here in the United States. So there are lots and lots and lots of excellent choices for food where you don't have to have a single piece of pizza or a single chicken nugget if you don't want to. Okay, the next thing a lot of people don't realize, you can fill your days in Disney World without stepping foot into a theme park. Like I said, you guys, size of Manhattan, huge place. So there's lots to do without even going into a park. So if you have a couple of days that you don't get park tickets, or you don't want to spend the money for 7 days worth of park tickets, don't. Take a couple of days off and relax, stay in your resort. There's horseback riding over at Fort Wilderness. You can rent boats at any resort that's on any sort of body of water, which is practically all of them. You can do mini golf. There's lots of mini golf locations. You can go have a tea party at the Grand Floridian. They have the Garden View Tea Room, which is really fun. They have a kids' tea party there as well. For the kids, they have lots of cool stuff. They have the pirate adventure tours at night at a lot of the resorts. So there's lots of cool stuff to do. Of course, Disney Springs is completely free to get into, at least. I don't know how much you're going to spend while you're there, but there's lots of stuff to do. You don't have to go into a park every single day. And of course, if you're staying at a Disney resort, there's all kinds of stuff to do at your resorts as well, especially Animal Kingdom Wilderness Lodge have cultural programs every day, and they're very fun, very cool, and totally free to you to do. Speaking of free, there's a lot of free things to do too. So don't worry if you don't want to pay for the golf course, you don't want to pay for renting a boat. Go around and find hidden Mickeys. There's hidden Mickeys everywhere on every Disney property, and you can go around the resorts on hidden Mickey tours. There's specifically one at Wilderness Lodge. They have a specific hidden Mickey tour that you can go get a piece of paper up at the concierge and follow it and find the hidden Mickeys. And we can highly recommend picking up Steve Barrett's book called Hidden Mickeys. It's the little yellow hidden Mickey book that you can find in your bookstore, and he lists all of the hidden Mickeys, and believe me, he knows every single one of them. If you're staying at your resort, you can do the poolside activities. There's lots of games that they do by the pools, and a lot of fun things that they do by the pools for the kids especially. You can ride that monorail, you can ride the buses around, and don't forget we have a whole video on free things to do in Disney World, so definitely check that out because we got a ton of cool stuff for you if you just want to spend a day without spending any money. Okay, something else that a lot of people don't realize is that Disney's got 2 water parks. Yeah, they have the 4 theme parks, but they also have 2 water parks, Typhoon Lagoon and Blizzard Beach. These are a lot of fun, and I know many people who do not go to Disney without doing at least one day at a water park. There's actually some hidden decent food at the water parks. I'm not going to vouch for much water park food, but they have these great mini donuts that are awesome. They have these cool sand pail bucket sundaes that are killer, and I don't know about you, but food always tastes better after I've been swimming, so those are really fun. A lot of people don't know they're there, so definitely research them and consider them as an option for a non-park day. Okay, so there are a few things that not a lot of people know about Walt Disney World, and actually most people don't know those things about Walt Disney World. So I hope that helps you plan your trip. Please leave a comment and let us know your thoughts. What do you know about Disney that you think a lot of people don't realize is the case? Leave that in the comments for us and let us know if you've done any of these things that we've talked about and can leave your experience for us. You guys know that we very much enjoy hearing your experience, and I think that our viewers benefit from it as well. Thanks for watching. This is AJ from Disney Food Blog, and we'll see you real soon.